Hey there, everyone. Today I want to look at the topic of judgment. And I wanted to look at it because I feel that I've been nudged over the past few days to look at this topic. I don't know why. It's something inside of me says that you kind of need to look at this. And it is true that last week I had a bit of an aha moment, a bit of an insight. And I did feel judged to some extent for an aspect of my life by others around me. And I kind of realized that it was triggering me, upsetting me, because it's something that I was subconsciously judging about myself, in that I thought, well, perhaps I'm not doing the right thing. Perhaps I should be doing something else according to what society thinks that we should do, and feeling a little bit guilty for um for having chosen what I've chosen to do. So I did realize that, yeah, the reason that other people judge me is because I'm judging myself about that particular aspect. So that was a bit of an aha moment, but I'm not sure what else Spirit wants to bring through. So I thought I would ask something along the lines of the following. What is judgment, and how can we identify when we are judging a person, thing, or situation? Why is it detrimental to judge others and situations? And if so, how can we refrain from judging? And any other comments that Spirit might want to give us, given that I have been feeling that I need to take a look at this topic. So let's see what comes through. Greetings, dear one. We are so glad that you've made time for us. And as always, we are prepared to answer any questions that you may have. Judgment is an area where many of you struggle. Many of you struggle with this area because you seem to feel that everything that occurs in everyone, every action, situation, thing is good, bad, right, or wrong. And it's important to take into account that the things that come into our lives need not be judged as good, bad, right, or wrong. They need to be seen as things that serve us, because the universe is always providing us with people, things, situations that serve us in some way, even though it's not always evident how they are serving us in a particular moment in time. But if you remain open to the fact that whatever you experience is serving you in some way, then eventually you will come to understand how that thing, person, situation is serving you. Even if you come across something which is not objectively something that you would prefer, and that is obviously not good, it can serve several purposes. One of them being it can enable you to decide what you do want to experience in terms of people, situations, things. And so it can enable you to focus on that which you do prefer, and also to focus on the feelings that you would have, how you would feel if you had the person, situation that you did prefer in your life, and focus on that. Because you need to take into account that if you continue to focus on a situation, person, or thing being good, bad, right, or wrong, and if it is particularly a negative situation, and you keep focusing on that negative aspect of it, then you're going to be attracting more of that into your life. You're going to be attracting more things to judge that are probably bad or wrong, or that you feel are bad or wrong. Because There is nothing that per se is right, wrong, good, or bad. It's the meaning that we assign to that thing, situation, or person that we identify as right or wrong or good or bad. And so it's important to take that into account when we ourselves judge something external to us. Now, when it comes to somebody outside of us that is judging us, that we feel we are being judged by somebody else or another group of people outside of ourselves, then we need to ask ourselves why we feel uncomfortable with this. Why do we feel triggered? Why do we feel upset? In any situation in life, it's important to ask yourself, when you feel triggered by something, why do you feel triggered? To get to the bottom of what it is that's bothering you. And often, as you so have experienced, when you feel judged by someone, by something you've said, by something you've done, by something you've chosen to do in life, it's often because you yourself judge yourself about that very thing. And therefore, you see the reflection of it in those around you. Sometimes this judgment that you have is very subconscious and you're not even aware of it. And you're only made aware of it when you perceive that somebody outside of you is judging that very thing that you feel uncomfortable with. And so if you understand that everyone and everything around you is showing aspects of themselves that are mirroring how you feel inside of yourself, then you need to go back and have a look at why you feel uncomfortable with that aspect of yourself. Sometimes it can be because social conditioning has led you to believe that there is a right path to take, and you feel guilty or you feel uncomfortable with the fact that you have chosen something that goes contrary to what is expected of you, despite the fact that you have done something which you feel is aligned to your true self and to what you really want. You feel guilty because you haven't followed social norms. If that's the case, you need to identify it, be okay with it, and move along. And you will find that if you are okay and you identify this subconscious judgment that you were making of yourself, and you consciously feel that you have made the right choice and you're okay with it, that the external judgment that you have been experiencing should dwindle because you no longer judge yourself. So it's important to be mindful of what's occurring outside of you and what aspects other people are showing of themselves, because they will tell you a lot about what you are really thinking and feeling at a subconscious level that you yourself may not even be aware of. And that's the value of experiencing those things. The truth of the matter is, there is no good, bad, right or wrong. It's just an experience. And those things only receive those labels based on the meaning that we give them. But we can choose to give them another meaning. We can choose to see them as something that gives us experience, that gives us a learning that we can use for our own evolution, we can use for our own expansion. And it can be to expand into a greater version of ourselves, into another path that is even more expansive for us, to help us explore other options, things, situations, people that are more conducive to making us feel good. So if we remain in this positive attitude that there is no good, bad, right, or wrong, that often what we determine to be good, bad, right, or wrong is based on beliefs that we have. We believe that something is good, we believe that something is bad, and so it is bad or it is wrong because we believe it to be wrong. But these are just beliefs, and we can continue to create from a place of love and joy and a search for our own expansion, for our own evolution, and transcend this need to judge things as good, bad, right, or wrong, which is essentially based on social conditioning, because from a very, very young age, you are taught this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad. And you are forced down the route often of all the good and the right things. And sometimes what's considered to be good or right are things that have been socially determined and that enter in conflict with what you yourself feel that you need to do or what your heart is telling you to do. And in general, things that do not cause any harm to others that you feel that you need to do, say, or experience are your higher self's way of telling you that is what you need to experience. That's part of your path. That's something that you need to explore. That's something that you need to experience. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's no need to allow social conditioning or social norms to dictate how you feel about certain things and to force you to deter from a particular path because it's not considered the right way. It's not considered the appropriate way by those around you, by society, or by whoever chooses to place their ideals and social protocols upon you. So it is important to avoid judging other people, situations, and things so that you yourself don't focus on those negative aspects of things and you focus on what you do prefer and dedicate energy and attention to that which you do prefer so that you can move yourself always into the direction of things that produce joy and love for you. And it's important to be wary of those who judge us because they are always giving us information. They're always giving us feedback that's very valuable in terms of seeing and perceiving those aspects of ourselves that we ourselves are not aware of. And so they also help us. And when we are triggered and when we are upset, that's a gift. That's a gift because it's bringing to light, bringing to the surface something that we weren't aware of and that once identified and once we have come to peace with that aspect in whatever way is necessary, then we will be able to move on and we will find that those things will no longer be points that trigger us in the future when they come up with other people. And with that, we are complete. Well, there we are. There we are. I'm glad I got that out of my system. I felt that we really did need to look at this topic of judgment in some way. So I really hope that that was insightful for you. It certainly was for me. And I will be weary of these judging other things and people judging me and seeing that how that can serve me. So as always, if you have any comments, any things that you would like to ask yourself, please leave them in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. As always, yeah, if you would like a personal session, and I do offer them as well. Thanks again.